There's some funky news with the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who appointed a special counsel in the Hunter Biden probe who is already the U.S. Attorney, David Weiss. I mean, this is the same David Weiss that gave the sweetheart plea deal to Hunter Biden that was slapped down by the judge. The same David Weiss that's team was letting the statute of limitations expire.
If Weiss is still the special counsel, which he is, and he comes up with charges against Biden that are different than the charges that have already been put out, the three charges, you have to ask yourself legally, well, what changed in the 3 months other than political pressure? So that's what they're going to start saying. Yeah. On the other hand, as conservatives were saying, there should have been a special counsel, but it shouldn't have been David Weiss, who now doesn't have to testify. That's
another point you just made, is that because now he's a special counsel, and even though they were coming to an end of that investigation with a plea deal, and ultimately people still think that that plea deal is coming for those charges, that now that he's a special counsel, he can easily tell Congress, listen, I'm still in an active investigation. Even more so now. So I can't tell you anything.
I don't trust this system. So when they appointed him, I think there's something else afoot. This was the U.S. attorney that was willing to let the statute of limitations expire on the big felony charges. Think about that for a minute, folks.
On the front end, Weiss makes the case against Hunter disappear by not charging it. So the statute of limitations is eating all of these charges. This behavior goes from like 2014 through 2018. So almost all of it is gone. And then on the back end, the special counsel, quote unquote, designation allows him to write a report. So at some propitious moment next year, during the election season, he'll drop a report saying, you know, I've looked at this and President Biden had nothing to do with it.
Andy is exactly 100% correct.
You might say that Hunter Biden didn't do everything perfect, but that the vice president at the time, now president, did. And so leading up to the election, he'll have a positive report.
They're also talking about, and this is something people need to understand, that the statute of limitations continues to, click away as long as there's not an indictment. That keeps expiring. So this is a cacophony of disaster that has been put in place with this move. And it should have been a special counsel initially, and Merrick Garland blew it as he's continued to blow it through this entire time.
Who's going to have confidence in Merrick Garland, not more broadly, not just on this set of issues, but on anything that touches on the political space after he has botched this so badly and denied the capacity, not just to investigate Hunter Biden, but the connectivity to the then vice president that we can all see plain as day from Devin Archer's testimony. Now we've cast real doubt on that, and it's going to wind its way through our election cycle over the next 6 months. And for that, Merrick Garland and his boss, President Biden, should be held accountable.
This is not the way the statute's supposed to work. It's supposed to be there's a conflict. We're bringing somebody in outside. They're going to operate with more independence. By the way, though, they're not independent. So don't kid yourself for a moment. They still report to the DAG, the Deputy Attorney General, and no charging decisions can be made unless the Attorney General signs off on it. And I know that Merrick Garland says they didn't sign off or they were not involved in the plea. I don't believe that for us. Nanosecond.
Yeah.
Okay? And are they going to try that plea again? Yes. And here's why. I say it again. And this is where Hunter Biden's lawyer's right. What changed between 3 weeks ago and now? Nothing except politics. And that's how it's going to be looked at. So they'll find a judge. Now they can go to these other jurisdictions and do it. Special counsel is basically still within the Department of Justice, supposed to have more independence. I don't like special counsel statutes. I never have. I didn't like it when it was Bob Mueller. I don't like it when it's David Weiss. I don't like the way this is being handled. The whole thing's an abuse. That's why we're getting to the bottom of it. That's why we're in federal court against the FBI on some of their activities. That's where you're going to get real oversight and real action by us taking them to court and make them produce documents justifying their positions. Folks, we are in the middle of our ACLJ Life and Liberty Drive, and today, as you know, we've taken action against the Biden administration on the life issue. We're filing our second brief in a case to support the law in Idaho and a pushback against the Biden administration, and we need you with us right now. And as I said this before, they need us, and we need you.
For us to provide the services to more, we need you to make that financial contribution as part of our Life and Liberty Drive. Do it today at aclj.org.